heavyweights right now. There must be somebody you're looking at. I know you've mentioned Tyson Fury before, but who do you want to fight next?
现在站在世界职业拳击的中央，想打谁？
泰森弗里，观众朋友们，要不要让我把泰森弗里闭嘴？
I want to add the audience. I want to ask you a question. Do you want to see me shut Tyson Fury up?
I think that answers that question. That's a fight that I'm sure we'd all love to see. Congratulations
Cap.
on a fantastic win. Pleasure.
Thank you.
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB,
And we're
back
went
once
to-
again. We just heard there from Big Bang Zhang, airing out Tyson Scary. Listen, I got some news heard today. Believe it or not, Frank Warren has actually now signed Zhang. He has the rights to Zhang. Well, not the rights, but whatever you want to call it, the right, not the rights. Zhang and Frank Warren are together now. And this reminds me, unfortunately, of the JOYCE situation. What do we know? Well, JOYCE was cucked by Frank Warren. That's just what it was. You can call it. Listen, he might as... Joe's got a lovely missus. Yeah, but he might as well have. The way Frank Warren did JOYCE, he might as well have invited Daniel Dubois around and Frank and took his big ass, took JOYCE's big ass, 6'6", into that cupboard. Yeah, shut the doors, shut both of the doors in the cupboard. Let's think about it for a second. Do you know how tight it would be for JOYCE to fit into a cupboard? Do you understand, people? Or wardrobe. Nonetheless, JOYCE, Frank Warren and Daniel Dubois put JOYCE in the cupboard with a little bit of a crack between the doors, just so he could get an eye on it. Do you understand? And they had 100%. They cucked him. Yeah. Daniel Dubois fought. Who did he fight? He fought some complete bum. Trevor Bryan Bumman. Yeah. He fought him for a WBA shot. Oops. JOYCE out here taking. Don't forget, people. Yeah, Zhang wasn't a mandatory. JOYCE took Zhang as a voluntary. Meanwhile, Dubois fought Lorena as a voluntary. Oops. Yeah, whether it's oops, whether it's cucked, they're both 100% relevant here. Now, how this relates to Zhang is, Zhang's going to find himself in the same situation. Frank Warren, Tyson Fury basically saved Frank Warren's promotion. So, the same, don't forget, people, after Chisora, Fury vs Chisora 3, Fury came out, Joe was in the ring. Oh, Joe, if it's not Usyk next, it'll be you. Oops, it was Zhang. Do you understand, people? Yeah, it wasn't Fury. It wasn't even Usyk, it was Zhang. Do you understand? It wasn't a lie. It wasn't Fury. It wasn't Usyk. Instead, sorry, it wasn't Fury. It wasn't Usyk. It wasn't a voluntary bum. Don't forget, people. JOYCE was in a position where all he had to do was sit down somewhere. Sit down. Now, don't get me wrong. Morally speaking, Joe did the right thing. As far as morals go, yeah, Joe was a real man. He took on a real challenge when he didn't have to, and I salute him for that. He made it to Valhalla for that, which is more than you can say from Fury. Well, inside the ring, Fury can make it to Valhalla. Outside the ring, he ain't going nowhere close. Joe, really, he's the one who's doing it the most. Joe make it to Valhalla in the ring and out of the ring. He acts like a true warrior. He want to fight everyone. Do you understand? Nonetheless, though, as far as the business goes, the advisors around you, their job isn't to boost your ego or get you in dodgy fights. Their job is, I mean, look at the way Frank Warren's treated Dubois. Yeah, that's how JOYCE should have been treated. He should have been nursed. JOYCE was WBO mandatory. What was he doing fighting Zhang, who had a hard fight with Hrgovic? That's the question, people. Yeah, that's the question. And again, how that relates to Zhang is, guess what? Zhang is now not only... JOYCE was in a dodgy position because he had no clout. He was seen as a tough fight. And hence, Tyson Fury don't want a hard fight with no clout. Tyson Fury don't even want a hard fight with clout against a midget who doesn't like to be hit to the body. Usyk, do you understand? So, if Frank Warren won't put JOYCE versus Fury on, he ain't putting Fury versus Zhang on. So Zhang can forget about that. Zhang can also forget about... I mean, to be fair, I reckon... Yeah, obviously, Zhang is now WBO mandatory, so unless Usyk drops his belts, he will be fighting for the belts against Usyk, which, again, should have been JOYCE's position. JOYCE and his team played him out of the main role here. But that is what it is. Joe himself will have to live with that. And I remember at the time, to be fair, I wasn't saying he should have fought a bum, but I mean, there's plenty of times to fight bums. There's plenty of time of time left in Joe Joyce's career for him to take undue risks. Yeah? You have a WBO mandatory shot. Why take undue risks? Frank Warren should have been lining up Kevin Lerena type dude. Do you understand? Not Zhang, who even at that point we knew wasn't a scrub. Even at that point we knew Hrgovic, an undefeated meant to be the next best thing. He got his cherry popped. Yeah, Zhang took his virginity, 100%. Put him on a deck. So he was dangerous then. And nonetheless, Joe, there weren't even no money there. And it was a southpaw. It's like, it's mind-blowing. The management, the promotion is mind-blowing here. And unfortunately, Zhang is going to find himself in the same position. The only good thing that Zhang has is that he has a WBO mandatory, which means he gets to fight Usyk. And I actually think Frank Warren wants that fight. Frank Warren wants Zhang to beat Usyk so that Fury's got an excuse. Because if Zhang beats Usyk, yeah, Fury can then say, "Oh, see, I told you, he's no good." But you best believe, if Zhang beats Usyk, Fury ain't fighting Zhang. There's more chance in my book of Fury fighting Usyk than Fury fighting Zhang. Although, actually, no, if Zhang beats Usyk, yeah, and becomes unified champion, that would then surely set up a mega fight in China. A government-backed fight in China. I mean, look at Kambosos. Kambosos is no good. Kambosos ain't no Zhang. And still, the Aussie government, they put money up for the Devin Haney fight. They backed it. And Aussies ain't known like Russians, Chinese, Americans. Them guys, they show up. Not so much the US government, but in terms of backing their sport. So if Zhang becomes three-time unified champion, I can see that maybe sweetening the pot for Fury. And I think Zhang's not humble enough, but I think Zhang's, whatever you want to call it, where he would probably take 30% of a massive pot. Although Zhang trains in the US, which can be politically speaking, it can be controversial for Zhang. Like, is he? I'm not sure how he's seen in CNY. I'm not sure how is he viewed as a lot of them. Sometimes them ones there, they're like, "Oh well, you've left and you've kind of sold out." A lot of the Cuban fighters, for example, when they leave, "Oh, you've sold out." Yeah, you've gone. What's that saying? They say you've gone Hollywood. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Does Zhang have a bad relationship with the government? I don't know. Either way, that's the only way the fight would happen. The only way the fight would happen was it was a ridiculous amount of money. But again, look at the Usyk situation. Fury offered Usyk took the 30%, and still it wasn't enough for Fury. So even if Zhang takes 30%, even if the pot's massive, Fury will still flap it. And until I see otherwise, I like Fury. I think Fury's the best one around for what it's worth. But you don't get that. I mean, look at how many fights I've got wrong before. Yeah, me sitting here and telling you, "Oh, he's the best around," don't mean squat. Yeah, I thought Chris Eubank Jr. had a solid chin in the first Liam Smith fight. Oops. Do you understand? Yeah, I thought Tyson Fury would knock down Derek Chisora at least once. Oops. You know what I mean? Like, sport can't be determined by, as much as I'd like it to be. I'd love it if sport was determined by what I say it is, but it's not. That's why we have to see it, because that's why there's so many upsets. Yeah, the odds makers, not all the time, but every now and then, it's big wrong. Josh Taylor versus Lopez, etc., etc. So as much as Usyk and Zhang might be underdogs in them fights, there's no telling, is there? There's no telling. Fury might have a bad night, Zhang might have a great night, Usyk might have a great night, and that's all she wrote. Anywho, I actually got a lot of now I've got a lot of respect for Zhang. Zhang deserves. I think Zhang's going to wash Usyk. Too big, too big, too strong, in my opinion. Too quick as well. Yeah, he can punch. Usyk can't punch. Usyk can't punch, and he's too small. And Zhang's quick as well. So, yeah, I'll back Zhang. I think the odds will be big as well. I think Zhang versus Usyk will be like 3-1 for Zhang. You best believe. I'm putting coin on that for sure. Because Zhang ain't no punk either. He's not like Joe Joyce. Even though he's slow, yeah, he was running at that man. What's his name? He was running at Zhang all night in the first fight, and Zhang was never phased. His hands was up. He was catching. He was riding. No problem. He's composed, very mature. So is Usyk, to be fair, but Usyk has a chink. And if Zhang, anyone who knows anything about boxing, yeah, Zhang would go into that fight against Usyk and he'll be working the body. And then we'll get to see Usyk jump on the floor and cry some more. So Usyk's kind of played himself in a way, because if Fury ever fights him, it's a wrap in my opinion. And if Zhang ever fights him, it's a wrap, because his body's soft. We know that. Usyk, people was often saying in the first AJ fight, people were saying before the first AJ fight that Usyk was playing possum. Oh, he had a tough fight with Chisora because he wanted to make sure the AJ fight happened. Fine. But guess what? When Usyk keep jumping on the floor, yeah, AJ hit him with a body shot in the second fight. Usyk turned his back and started crying. Dubois folded him for 5 minutes. Yeah, there weren't no playing possum there. That means, for a man who knows how to play possum, yeah, to stop playing possum, that means his body is soft. 100%. Anyway, people, I hope Zhang gets the Fury fight. I want to see it. Not going to happen, though. It's one of them. Yeah, anyway. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. 100%. No doubt about it.